Have you ever wondered about the strangest photos that time has forgotten? Today, we will reveal to you the strangest and most fascinating vintage photos that you will love. I promise you. Enjoy the show.
Remember the golden age of TV? Back in '87, this talented redhead started out as Peg Bundy on Married with Something More. Before that hit sitcom, she sang backup for legends like Bob Dylan and Gene Simmons. The real surprise? During the show's run, she kept touring with Bette Midler. In 1979, Buck Rogers blasted onto TV screens with an unforgettable antagonist. Princess Ardala's stunning costume required 5 hours of handcrafted beadwork each episode. During filming, the gleaming outfit became so heavy, Pamela Hensley could barely move between takes. Looking at this photo from 1963, nearly 500,000 Berliners packed every inch of Rudolf Wildplatz. Even locals hung from apartment windows just to catch a glimpse of the American president. The crowd's enthusiasm was so electric that Secret Service abandoned their original plans. That passionate speech became more than just 4 famous words. It marked a defining moment of solidarity that still echoes today. Back in '63, this art student from London turned down a steady job at a respected firm. Instead, Mick Jagger gambled everything on a small rhythm and blues band. A British record executive called their demo unsellable. Today, that unsellable band has sold over 200 million albums, proving sometimes the best business decisions aren't made in boardrooms. Manufacturing luxury cameras resumed in post-1949 Germany, with Rolleiflex leading the charge. The precision required was so intense that each craftsman assembled only 3 cameras per day. These masterpieces quickly became Hollywood's favorite, capturing everything from Marilyn Monroe to the moon landing. Al Lewis, Beverly Owen, and Fred Gwynne at the opening of Al's restaurant, Grandpa's in New York, April 1987. This candid photo from 1962 was captured at Harold Lloyd's estate. Legendary photographer George Barris used a rare Nikon S2 rangefinder for this session. Professional photographers worldwide marveled at his technique of shooting directly into sunlight. The iconic orange sweater now resides in a private collection insured for over $500,000. George H.W. Bush displays his son George W. Bush's officer bar on his Texas Air National Guard uniform, 1968. During the summer of 1978, rock music faced a pivotal moment. Record executives claimed disco would dominate forever. Meanwhile, Joan Jett spent countless nights in budget motels watching reruns of vintage rock shows. Those quiet moments inspired her to create I Love Rock and Roll, a single that would later sell over 10 million copies and revolutionize music television. This rare moment happened during the Jam music video shoot at Universal Studios. Professional choreographers spent hours perfecting Michael Jackson's basketball moves. Initially planned as a quick cameo, Jordan stayed for the entire day, fascinated by Jackson's dedication to learning the sport. Their friendship led to Jordan appearing in 3 more Jackson productions over the years. Driving down San Francisco's steep hills posed unique challenges for the 1921 Model T Ford engineers, created an ingenious gravity-feed fuel system. Drivers had to reverse up these infamous slopes. The 2-speed planetary transmission proved so revolutionary that modern automatic gearboxes still use similar principles. Today, descendants of this engineering marvel power vehicles on Mars. Soldiers gather around a guitar player and sing songs after a long day during Operation Yellowstone, January 1968. The Manhattan skyline had a different shimmer in 1955 aboard the SS Maasdam. Ocean liners offered round-trip tickets to Europe for $160, the same price as a premium radio. Every voyage carried 39,000 pieces of hand-pressed linen for first-class dining. This legendary Holland-America route created countless American success stories before air travel changed everything in 1958. Shanghai's streets in 1938 witnessed an unusual sight: successful merchants displaying wealth through personal transportation services. Professional pushcart operators earned more than factory workers, charging premium rates for custom-built wheelbarrows. Local craftsmen created these specialized vehicles with reinforced axles supporting up to 400 pounds. A rare photograph captured by Margaret Bourke White using a specially modified Kodak camera in 1941. Professional photographers worldwide studied her technique of photographing lightning strikes with slow shutter speeds. The remarkable reflection in the Moscow River created an optical illusion that made this image famous in photography textbooks. This pioneering night photography method influenced modern storm-chasing techniques. Behind this 1950s glamour shot lies an extraordinary Hollywood story. Originally studying music at the University of the Pacific, Janet Leigh landed her first role without any acting experience. A retired MGM photographer discovered her yearbook photo at a ski resort. That chance encounter led to an illustrious career spanning 4 decades, including a Golden Globe win and the legendary Psycho shower scene that changed cinema forever. These passengers aboard the Marine Flasher experienced an extraordinary welcome in 1946. Professional photographers documented their arrival, creating over 500 images that day. The ship's manifest listed families from 17 different nations, including skilled craftsmen, scientists, and artists. Their descendants have since founded over 200 successful American businesses, contributing billions to our economy. During Prince Charles's 1981 New Zealand tour, local modeling agencies launched a unique marketing campaign. Professional hairstylists trained these 5 models to perfect the signature Diana haircut, requiring 47 attempts to match the exact style. The original photo shoot became so popular that British Airways hired these lookalikes for their London-Wellington route promotion. Today, this photo represents Madison Avenue's earliest example of influencer marketing. These rare cat-eye frames from 1955 were custom-made by American Optical for $125, equivalent to a month's rent in Manhattan. Professional opticians had to modify them specifically for proper camera focus during filming. An original design sketch recently sold at auction for $18,000. Modern eyewear companies still reference these iconic frames in their premium collections. This candid moment from 1966 occurred during the filming of Two for the Road near Saint-Tropez. British cast members introduced cricket during lunch breaks to boost morale. Get this. Most aviation experts thought crossing the Atlantic solo was impossible in 1927. The Spirit of St. Louis looked nothing like other planes of its time. Check this out. The main fuel tank was placed right in front of the cockpit, forcing Lindbergh to navigate using only side windows and a periscope. Long before Queen rocked the world, young Freddie formed his first band in boarding school. The Hectics knocked out classic rock covers during lunch breaks at St. Peter's College. Here's the wild part. They played instruments borrowed from the school's music room without permission. These teenage rebels went on to become doctors and lawyers, while Freddie kept chasing that musical dream. Talk about different paths in life. Take a good look at this miracle of engineering. Back in 2000, this harbor was just a quiet fishing spot with a few scattered boats. Here's the incredible part. Those 3 towering structures on the left didn't rise from the ground, they rose from the sea itself. Engineers actually reclaimed enough land from the ocean to build a city. Zoom back to swinging London 1972. A perfect snapshot of British style. A classic Mini Cooper with its iconic grille meeting mod fashion on a city street. The fascinating part? That license plate, CLL 109J, marks this as one of the last original Minis before British Leyland took over production. Step back to 1963. A young Jim Henson poses with his furry creation Ralph the dog in what looks like a Miami high-rise. The fascinating part? Rolf was actually built for a Purina dog chow commercial, but his lovable personality made him the first Muppet to become a national TV star. Flashback to 1968. A stunning portrait captures a young Debbie Harry in a vibrant paisley print years before Blondie would revolutionize the music scene. The fascinating part? At this time, she was working as a waitress at Max's Kansas City, rubbing shoulders with Andy Warhol's factory crowd and the Velvet Underground. Flashback to 1975. A young Mr. T stands tall in his military police uniform years before becoming a Hollywood icon. Catch this amazing beach snapshot from 1970. The Jackson 5 take a breather between hits, lounging on the California coast in their signature stylish threads. Dick Cavett interviewing Raquel Welch on his show in 1972. Step back to 1969 on the GM assembly line. A cherry red Pontiac hangs suspended while skilled workers install the chassis components below. The fascinating part? This innovative body drop technique revolutionized car manufacturing, allowing teams to work simultaneously on the top and bottom. Travel back to 1959 at the American National Exhibition in Moscow. A fascinating moment when a simple Pepsi became a tool of diplomacy. Citizens of Jerusalem having fun after a heavy snowfall, 1921. Step onto the neon-drenched streets of future Los Angeles, 1982. Here's Rutger Hauer between takes, standing amid the steam and grime of Ridley Scott's dystopian masterpiece. The fascinating part: Hauer rewrote his famous Tears in Rain monologue the night before filming, cutting it from 2 pages to just 43 perfect words. The amazing twist? Those iconic Atari signs behind him became part of cinema history, though the gaming giant would crash just 2 years later. Flashback to 1970. A fascinating behind-the-scenes moment captures 2 icons on the set of a daring heist film. The fascinating part? Donald Sutherland created his laid-back tank commander character by channeling California hippie culture, complete with that signature beard and medallion. The amazing twist? The movie was actually filmed in Yugoslavia, with local tanks painted to look like authentic W-2 vehicles. Step back to the winter of '83 in Manhattan's Chinatown. A bright red snowplow cuts through the drifts on Mott Street, while locals bundle up against RFK stopping for a meal at a drive-in in Bluefield, West Virginia, during the campaign for his brother JFK to become the 1960 Democratic presidential nominee. Step back to 1944. Inside a massive hall, rows upon rows of file cabinets hold the nation's fingerprint collection. The fascinating part? Each drawer contained thousands of carefully indexed prints, with dedicated workers meticulously filing and cross-referencing over 23 million sets. Step back to 1971 on the Paramount lot, a remarkable transformation captured in 2 shots, from the magnetic Marlon Brando to the imposing Don Corleone. The fascinating part? Makeup artist Dick Smith spent 3 hours each morning applying the custom-made dental prosthetics and facial attachments. The amazing twist? Brando stuffed his cheeks with cotton during his screen test but switched to custom dental appliances for filming.